Hey there, and welcome to the show. Today's special episode is something a little bit different and a lot more personal. I'm diving into a project that blends music, memory, and the classic adventure game community we all love. I have with me Era 47, an industrial rock metal band that does heavy reimaginings of game soundtracks, and they're going to be putting on their first ever full, all-together live concert this October at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. They'll be performing tracks from The Seventh Guest, Gabriel Knight, King's Quest, Quest for Glory, and other Sierra and Trilobite soundtracks. But what makes this truly special is that the show is also a tribute to Roberta Vaughan, who is a pillar in the adventure game community and someone who passed away earlier this year. She was a good friend to all of us and a driving force behind this show, and someone who lifted up so many people in the community. I'm here speaking with a few of the members of Era 47 over the next few days, and tonight's chat is with Jackie Stargrove, Sarah Kelly, Jon Paul Sapsford, Erik Elsom, and Mick Council. And tomorrow I'll speak with a few more members and contributors to the project, and we'll blend both conversations into this single episode. We're going to talk about the show, the Kickstarter, the guests, the music, and why it matters. So let's just jump in. For one, can one of you give me the big picture? What is the Portland show, and why is it such a big moment for Era 47?
So I think I can probably take that one. So, we had always wanted to do live shows, right? We never expected to, but we always wanted to. But the reason why the Portland one was and is so important to us is because it was completely out of the blue when Roberta came to us. I think she came through Sarah. But she came to we got a little private Discord server, and she came there, and words cannot describe how excited she was to tell us that she was fighting to get us into the show and all that stuff. And her excitement was kind of infectious to all of us. Like, wait, we can pull this off. It's going to be hard. We're going to have all this extra, tons and tons of work to do, but we can pull this off. And it's, it's obviously with her passing, it's become not just important because it's going to be fun, but it's important because she was pushing so hard for this, and we want to make good with her, with that.
That makes a lot of sense, and that's really a good way to get together.
It's going to be a very fun obligation to old mate Bertie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Very much so. Okay, well, I'd like to start with a question for you, Erik. What's your part in the band? You've been a part of Era 47 since the beginning.
Yeah, probably pretty close to it. I think if I had to sum it up, I would say my involvement would mostly be Plains violin and viola tracks. Probably the biggest project we did was on Soup's On. There were quite a few on that. And then I've played on a few other little smaller projects here and there that the group has done. I've also played some keys, some piano bits here and there on random songs for the group. So yeah, just kind of wherever needed, wherever strings fit well, I guess, is my biggest part.
In a lot of places.
Yeah, they can be. And well, in an industrial rock setting, not as much, but we make it work. It works out.
So what's the emotional rhythm like behind this particular show for all of you? You specifically, Erik, though, especially knowing it's a tribute to Roberta, and it's the first time you guys are all playing together live.
It means a lot. It really does. Not only because we get to honor Roberta in this way, which I'm so grateful to be a part of, but also it's our first show together. It might be our only ever. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a hit. Who knows? But I cannot wait to meet, especially Jon Paul and Fred, the two remaining people I haven't met in person yet. We've worked on so much together over the years, and yeah, it'd be great to finally meet everybody. But yeah, it's a lot, really means a lot on a lot of levels. I think I speak for probably a lot of us when I say that.
Isn't that wild to be playing together for so long and not having met each other yet? I mean, some of you have met at various concerts, but what a world, eh? This could never have happened in the past. This is great. All right, Sarah, hey, how's it going? Tell me a little bit about what you do for the band outside of, being the organizer of all of this on top of that.
Well, I wasn't part of the band, and I have sort of been absorbed, I think. So I came in because Erik was like, hey, do you want to sing Girl in the Tower on my King's Quest 6 remaster. And Ode to the Isles, thank you. And yes. And once I did that, I just kind of stuck around, and that's my story.
That's a good way to do it. Organizing and singing, though, it is a lot to carry emotionally and logistically. I mean, you were also a very good friend to Roberta. How are you doing balancing both sides of this, being on part of the tribute on stage and behind the scenes?
I don't know yet. Ask me in a couple of months. And then I'll have a good answer for you.
Probably a right answer, too.
Well, actually, so when this started, Roberta came to me. So she was actually talking to me about the panels that she was also helping to put together for Portland Retro Gaming Expo. She came to me to get some help working together on the concert piece. So that was when I was brought in. And so I remember her being excited about and working through all of the foundational things. And also to clarify here, Portland Retro Gaming Expo is a separate event, but if you go to that, you can get into the concert with your Portland Retro Gaming Expo badge. We're kind of like a friend of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. So it's obviously really difficult when the person who was, the foundation and the heart and soul of the project can't be with us anymore. But I think I speak for everyone when I say we're all really, really excited to make her proud. Mm-hmm. And I really hope we get the opportunity to do that. And
I really hope so, too. Thank you. So, JP, you've done some of the most iconic guitar work. So I guess you're the guitar guy in the catalog, aren't you? Or do you do other work in the band as well?
Yeah, so I do all the guitar work, and what I do, actually a lot more than that, is the production stuff. So all the files come to me. I do all the mixing and the mastering and all the editing and everything like that. Troels does Troels and Fred do all the keyboards and everything, and Troels does almost all the arranging. But I get to the nitty gritty of trying to make it sound good.
Right. That makes sense. That's super important. What does it mean for you? Like, is there a particular track you're most excited about or nervous to play live in front of a crowd, or are you pretty confident about everything that would be going on? I'm
feeling pretty confident. I've got a touring background and everything, but there's a few tracks because most of these songs were kind of written, or arranged, I suppose, without really the intent of performing them live. So there's tons of, some of the guitar solos I wrote, it's like, well, if I just do 30 takes of this, I'll get it. I don't have to play it live ever. And sure enough, that changed, and now I've really got to practice. There's one that I've been really grinding on is there's a lead part in this one track from Soup's On called Queen Puzzle that is just really, really, really fast. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun, but it's proving to be quite a challenge.
Yeah, no, I imagine that. Well, obviously you're going to do amazing, but you know what? I think feeling nervous is an important part of the process.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I've done tons and tons of shows, and I get nervous before every single one of them. As soon as you start playing, though, then that just goes away, and it's like we're playing in a basement with friends, no matter who's there.
Yeah, that's it. I like that. So, hey, Mick, how's it going? What do you do with Error 47?
I play bass. I was at Troels' house one evening, and he had a bass, and I grabbed it and started playing it, and he just said, "Oh, you can actually play," and I went, "Yep." And he goes, "You're in." And I'm like, "In what?" And he goes, "My band." So I shrugged my shoulders and went, "Why not?" Okay, cool. That's how it started. And because of that, I got to meet, John, Jackie, Erik, Sarah, Fred. No, I knew Fred previously, but yeah, everyone else. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, you're coming all the way from Australia, and that's a huge effort. But of course, it's not just any show. I kind of have an idea of what you're going to answer, but what is it that made you say yes to this one without any hesitation?
About 6 months ago, I was chatting to Roberta. She was sorting out this event. Yeah, and then all the balls started to roll, so to speak. And I just said, "Yep." Well, regardless of what's if we play a gig or not, I'll just come down because I love hanging out with you guys so much. And now it's solidified. It's going to be concrete, hopefully. And we just got to do a really good hard rock tight show and pay the best tributes to one of the greatest people that I've ever had the privilege of meeting.
Hear, 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 hear on that. Thank you. And Jackie Stargrove, please tell me who you are and tell me why you've also chosen not just to be a part of the band, but potentially a documentary director.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I guess as far as the band itself goes, I do vocals for the band. It was a thing where, originally they started off doing music from, old games, and a lot of old games don't necessarily have lyrics to the music. There's a lot of MIDI tracks, a lot of, computer stuff. And as time went along, started experimenting with tracks from the more CD-ROM era, and they had, actual songs with actual lyrics and actual human voices. And somewhere down the line, it was decided that, bringing me in as a full-time component of sorts wasn't a bad idea. I kind of lucked into the whole thing in the first place. I mean, what brought me to the band literally was Roberta. It started as us doing sort of a little secret project album for her. And they needed help with that. And I did a punk rock version of the Archaeologist song from the Dagger of Amun-Ra, and they kind of just kept me in the circle until the point where it was, I guess it was needed. It seemed to be necessary that I could, just consider myself a part of the band, so to speak. Especially when I, probably more than anybody in the group, am the big 7th Guest 11th Hour fan. So I more than anything, I'm just the cheerleader. I want this stuff to exist, and I'm happy to contribute any way I can, and the main way I can do that is with my voice.
I like that. So what are you hoping that the documentary film captures at the performance? If it would be completely different if you weren't putting it on film. Are you making it as like a whole documentary to release after? Tell me the details. I'm curious.
Yeah, so the whole journey has been quite a thing, because I had not pitched the idea beforehand, but even earlier this year, I thought maybe this is a story we could tell. Like when still had Roberta doing her thing and holding the reins, I was like, well, there are two ways this can go. Either it can be a hilarious mess, and we'd have something like a new Spinal Tap for the next generation. Not, knowing that there was going to be a new Spinal Tap next month, but that's beside the point. Or, beyond all odds, this group of people can converge all over the world into one place, spend 5 days putting together a whole show, and if it goes off even close to without a hitch, I feel like that'll be a pretty inspirational story to tell. That's a hell of an underdog tale. Like, this is not anything that most of us are really acclimated to doing. And it seems like I said, no matter how it goes, I think it'll be an interesting story to tell. So I started doing personal documenting of just as soon as the Kickstarter went off. And, I'll keep updating, and recording as much as I can until that point. And then, again, once things are in motion and we're moving, I'm going to record as much as I can. I believe we're all going to kind of record as much as we can of everything, drop that into a file later, and then I will spend all my spare time putting that into a proper narrative of some sort, especially since part of what we're working towards is getting proper, filming at the venue, more professional grade setup than anything we'd be going in with. But we'll get to that later, of course.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually really ambitious. I love an underdog story. And I think, everything about the adventure game community is a little bit of an underdog story. So it really does. It fits right in there. So let's take a bit of time to talk about Roberta. This is open table to anybody, but what did she mean to the band? And if you could just tell me what role she played in making this concert happen outside of, a part of the role, I think, Mick, you touched on it, that she played in making the band kind of happen in and of its own right as well.
Well, she's been trying to make it happen for, I think, a couple years now. This was something that was originally Robert Holmes' brainchild, and she wanted to kind of get that going so that he could perform some stuff live, get some Sierra composers to perform live. And then Error 47 was brought in to potentially be the house band, and then, of course, have the opportunity to play, the 7th Guest for those of you who don't know, they just put together an amazing album of Seventh Guest and 11th Hour music called Soup's On. Look it up if you don't have it. It's amazing. So it kind of started there, but she's wanted a Sierra music concert for quite a while. And so this year over PRGE weekend was, a good opportunity. So with respect to Robert, he's actually not able to be there in person, but he will be via video be debuting a song that's written as a tribute for Roberta, and also a piece from the Scarlet Furies that she really, really loved, sung by his daughter Raleigh. So he will definitely have a presence there.
Yeah, she's been talking about a Sierra jam session ever since I first met her, 8 or so years ago, however long ago when we first all started hanging out at these meetups.
Mm-hmm.
It was finally supposed to come to fruition, and so we're trying to honor that as much as we can, at least make the show.
She thought it would make a lot of people very happy.
Yeah, she's darn right about that. It sure would.
Well, you remember that Airbnb, Anna, where we were staying with her and I just sat out on that front veranda till like 5 a.m. in the morning trying to get Troels back over to the country because of his she was so passionate and so emotional about it, just very caring and kind and empathetic, and just she just had that idea in her head that thought we could kick ass and take names live on stage and everyone would appreciate it. She has her visions and she's very determined.
Yeah, she was very much just a facilitator. Like, she was so good at being a common link between all sorts of people. I mean, on a very personal level, like, the relationship that we had, it was just so special. Like, you don't meet somebody like she was a 1 in a million kind of person where, she made everyone feel special because she really cared about all of us like family.
Look at last year's Airbnb, Jackie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We all come from different walks of life, creed, whatever it may be, even how you may feel politically. But, she turned that Airbnb into a home, and, and the fandom is what brought us all together. And, you could either be sitting there outside talking about, your favorite Sierra game or your favorite this or that, or you could just be sitting on the couch watching Simpsons or a movie or anything like that. She wherever she was, her aura or bubble, let's say, just made everyone feel welcome, everyone feel comfortable, everyone just to chill out and be happy. And that made her very, very happy.
Yeah, it's almost like she brought home with her. Like, she feels like home. Like, if you were around her, things were going to be fine. Everybody was going to be cool. And everybody was cool.
We called her our fairy goth mother. She kind of was everybody's mom. And I think I've never met anybody like that. I think that sometimes when we meet people who are very, effusive and loving, I know for me, there is a tendency sometimes to just not quite believe it, because nobody's that sweet and nobody actually cares about everybody that much. But I believe she truly did. And she had this, it's just bizarre. And the way she would make you be her friend, it was kind of like, I was describing it to some people, actually in that group chat the other day, Anna, where basically I said she just kind of found, just sort of zeroed in on me and threw me in the trunk of her friendship car and off she drove. And I'm pretty reserved and kind of quiet. And she just kind of was like, that doesn't bother me. This is no big. I've got it. So yeah.
that was like at Adventure X 3 years ago. Just, yeah, it was, you've been talking on the internet for a while and then all of a sudden you're like best mates and go outside and talk shit and have a drink or whatever it may be, and it was just one of them people. It's just it's like putting on curling up in your favorite sleeping bag or putting on an old pair of jeans. It just feels right. It feels natural, and you feel comfortable and just happy. She was one of a kind.
Yeah, it's true. So, okay, all of this is an amazing reason to get behind this project. I also just want to talk a little bit about potential special guests. I've heard you guys have some legendary folk involved. Can you run me through who's showing up and what they're going to be doing?
Yeah, so we have we do know that George Singer, George the Fat Man Singer, composer of tons and tons of stuff, but most specifically for our purposes, he's the composer of The Seventh Guest and 11th Hour, and just all around amazing human being. He's going to come out and he's going to do some jamming with us.
Yeah, and then I think we had, didn't we have Mark and Debbie Siebert?
That's right.
We're going to potentially, we're going to try to work something out with them as well, is the plan.
So the plan is for them, there is a specific song that they will be performing, and it's really special because it's a classic Sierra song with lyrics written by Roberta's sibling Ames.
Ken Allen, it looks like, is going to be there too, potentially.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're working out a plan for him to sing anything with us or not. I'll double check with him on that to see if he wants to. But we have other composers coming to be on the composers, panel at PRGE itself. So we have others like Neil Grandstaff and other composers, coming as well. But I'm not sure who we're planning for on Sunday night besides Mark and George and Debbie.
There's a lot of tentatives, but we don't know who's going to be on stage and who's going to be in the wings, so to speak, just yet.
I was just going to say that there's going to be a variety of series represented. So even if the composers themselves aren't performing it, we're going to do our dead level best to, give a really cool interpretation of those pieces.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, we've got a good crew together, and yeah, I think it's going to be quite the event. Most of the people that are going to be showing up are just historic people to us. They're people that we've seen in the credits of so many of our favorite Sierra games, from King's Quest games to Police Quest games to Quest for Glory, the music and kind of a lot of the reason we enjoyed these games, because music is the life of any game, is because of the people that are going to be there. So I'm super stoked. But one of the main reasons we're doing this episode is to get everybody super pumped, because we have a Kickstarter going right now, and I want to talk a little bit about logistics. So you've got the venue booked, and tell me what the Kickstarter's for: travel, lodging, rehearsal space, video, live stream costs. What's the reason that you guys need the extra boost here?
Well, that pretty much covers it, what you just listed off.
Yeah, I mean, the long and short of it is that's exactly what it is. It costs a lot of money to get people to fly in from several different continents, and then line up with people who are already in the area, setting things up beforehand, and then acclimating, just getting a hold of all the gear that we need, getting space to rehearse, time to rehearse, just all of the things lining up. Turns out they want money for all that stuff, and us artists, we don't have any of that.
What? So also, while we're talking about the Kickstarter, let's give a quick shout out to our partner in crime, Sean Parker, who has graciously jumped in and come to our rescue and helped to get that set up, and is helping us behind the scenes with the organizing. Earlier, Anna, you gave me credit for doing a lot of the organizing, and I have done some, but he's also done quite a bit, with the two of us being boots on the ground here in Portland, getting things set up. And so, we would be remiss if we didn't mention his contributions. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Yeah. Between Sarah and Sean, I feel like one of the cats that they are somehow successfully herding. I don't know how they're pulling it off, but they are amazing at what they're doing. I just sometimes I just sit back and just let them do their thing, because I'm just going to get in the way.
Well, thank you. I blame 10 years in corporate America. That's the that's what my problem is. Those latent skills have been awakened like a sleeper agent. So now I'm just kind of doing what I do for now. But thank you. And honestly, you guys are doing an amazing job, putting together all of the creative pieces. And Jon Paul, as always, Anna mentioned this earlier. I don't remember if it was in this take, but about how, Jon Paul like kind of come back 20 seconds later with, hey, I did this thing that you wanted done, and it's done, and it's cool, and it's amazing. So, yeah. So basically, I can't say enough good about the people in this group because, it's a team effort. Everyone's working together to pull this off.
Jon Paul, you amaze me with that because like what you guys are a day and 17 hours behind, and probably be like in the 3 a.m.s or something wherever I throw a record, and you go, here you go, and I'm just like, do you ever sleep? Like, seriously?
I sleep very rarely. Not much.
I don't think he does.
Sleep is so overrated. I wish I didn't have to do it at all.
Yeah, it's really.
If I could just plug myself into the wall to recharge, I'd be set.
So let's run through the rewards here. Outside of throwing in $1 just to support, which anybody can go ahead and do, we've got some pretty cool rewards. Everything from a custom 5-second metal track where you get your name set on it, all the way through to being there for sound check and backstage and all sorts, lunch with the band. Tell me about this stuff. It's super exciting.
Well, let me tell you, if you've never seen me eat in person, it's quite a thing.
I'll shout someone a beer and a bit of pizza.
But the way we came up with some of the ideas, we were just trying to figure out, okay, what do we do, or what can we do that people seem to enjoy and all that stuff that'll be special for them. And the main thing we were coming up with there was, well, we can just do these versions of songs they like, and that was kind of the big one. And then Sarah had the idea, what about just some real short little metal songs? And like, oh, we can do those. Those would be a blast to do and have a lot of fun with. And and then maybe someone wants to have hang out with us and have lunch. And we saw already a few of those have been taken. So we just kind of wanted to give something back that people can enjoy, their own private little thing from us to say thank you for helping us out with this.
Also, kind of excited about, I'm seeing some of the pledges coming in for the $100 tier level, which is Error 47 reorchestrating 3 to 5 tracks of your choosing from any of these adventure games. So I'm really excited for what's going to come out of that later. I think there's a lot of really cool music. I was kind of thinking,
maybe I'm going to feel kind of overwhelmed or swamped, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, this is going to be fun. We get to divvy up some tasks and do our own takes on some of these songs. I'm
excited about that part for sure.
And it's an excuse to create more without having to necessarily guide ourselves as rigidly as something like Soup's on Required. Like, We've already laid out the narrative. We owe you something. Tell us what we owe you. And secretly, I'm kind of hoping that somebody is going to pick like the that ballad from the end of Phantasmagoria. I think it's time. So if somebody elects that we finally do that, I'm ready.
You heard it here, folks. If somebody wants to donate $100 and get Jackie singing the song from Phantasmagoria, well, you know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's rewards going all the way up to $400, and that also gets you a ticket to the post event, doesn't it?
Oh, for the concert itself. Okay, we're talking about. So just to clarify, if you go to Portland Retro Gaming Expo, you do get in for free with your lanyard from that. And then if you don't go to Portland Gaming Expo, you can get there are a number of limited tickets outside of that. So if you wanted to just come down and go to the concert and not the expo, then you could also do that. But those tickets are limited. I think to about 50? Does that sound right? Okay.
That makes sense. So yeah, this is all about music access and the experience, and that should definitely be getting people excited for it. I'd like to know, before we wrap this mini episode up here, is there anything anybody wants to say in particular, or any plugs outside of the fact that I'm obviously going to link the Kickstarter underneath this episode and in every post that I've put all over social medias about it?
I think that the important thing to really point out is just that I don't know that we've stressed it yet, but time is very much of the essence right now. We had to launch this a lot later than we were hoping, so it really only gave us about a 2-week window. We're 2 days into that. We've already made a quarter of what we need as our base minimum. But, if we hit that, that'll be incredible. However, everything on top of that is, that's all gravy. Anything extra we make is going to go right back into the production. I have jokingly come to call that the Brown M&Ms Fund for any of you who get that reference. But realistically, it's just going to be anything that we can do to make the show better. Anything that any extras that are offered by the venue that we can add, it's all going to go back into the show and just make this thing happen. And like I said, I'm working on a documentary about it. I don't know that whether anything was promised in the tiers or not, but as long as this thing goes off without a hitch and we make it to the stage, everybody who's involved in this Kickstarter from $1 on up, once I have a final product, I'm going to make sure everybody gets it for free. I don't know what I'm going to do with it beyond that. I have delusions of grandeur that, maybe it'll get to play at festivals and stuff like that. And, other people that don't care about it might actually see. But regardless, I want to, that just as an extra gift to the people who helped make it happen. I feel like that's just something that they deserve right away.
Well, hell, anyone who funds this, I'll shout them drinks to the liver spits out of their mouth.
Yay, Mick.
It's true. Take it from me. I don't know what it is about him.
Yeah, he is not making that up. Take that as a threat.
It literally is.
Guys, we people might not want to fund us now.
Yeah, put in the money so you don't have to get, your liver flying out your mouth, whatever way you want to look at it.
Where you don't have, where you pay a certain amount and you don't have to do that. That's good. I just wanted to say before we leave the topic of stretch goal funding, so specifically some of that gravy would be stretch funding will allow us to upgrade the video live stream package to include more cameras. Right now we'll have a 2-camera setup with just, our base goal. It's still going to be great, but more options equals, more points of view and a better live stream experience. So there's that too. And then also the venue has a photo booth, and we would set up a limited photo booth that attendees can use for free, including prints. It's just something they have on hand that would be a really cool thing to add. So that's some of what you can expect if we go over. Right now, honestly, I would be thrilled if we make our base funding goal, but more would also be great.
That's my method, right? Maximalism all the way. Give me everything. Yep. If we need to make more money on the spot, I will happily turn the photo booth into a kissing booth. I will turn nobody away.
I'll be your best customer, mate.
All right. We'll just put the funds right back into the band. Put our money where our mouth is.
I can already feel the chemistry here. And I mean, I don't even have everybody on at this point, but you guys just smashed together so good. This is awesome.
Oh, thank you, Anna. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for doing this on such short notice, and then you came all prepared with all these really insightful questions. Oh my gosh, you're on top of it. We appreciate you so much.
It's clear how much heart, work, and history is going into this concert. It's not just about the music. It's about showing up for the people who built this community, really, and for somebody who gave so much to all of us so that this community actually happened.
Yep, exactly.
So,
I think you should start a podcast, Anna.
Sure.
That does bring one more thing to mind that we didn't really discuss, that the other dream that Roberta kind of had that we're helping to bring to life as a totally separate thing. Everyone knows that she was a huge fan of FMV titles, as am I. That was one of our big bonding things. So, full motion video, live action games, that was something she loved, and she had the dream of building an FMV museum, like a traveling exhibit. And at the convention, we're supposed to be putting together sort of the premiere version of that, as well as some panels regarding it as well. So that's going to be really exciting. I would say just, keep those completely unrelated to the Kickstarter, but very much related to Roberta and related to the topics. Just whatever topics you guys would discuss on the podcast, it's exactly in line with what we already love.
Well, Erik, you are running the panels. While I've got you on here, do you want to drop what panels are happening?
Yeah, sure. So the one that Jackie was just mentioning, that's the FMV panel, and they are actually moderating that.
I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself there, but I will. They will be making the mistake of giving me a microphone to speak as well to sing.
Yep. So there's that. I think we're gonna have Paul and Tori from Phantasmagoria on that, as well as Sean Parker to kind of give more of a modern perspective on where FMV is going today. I'm still trying to rope Nalani into at least being on the panel. She's going to be over doing a lot of the museum stuff as well, so we'll see how much she's willing to do. So there's that, and there's also another panel we're doing with Paul. I should state on this podcast, when I say Paul, I'm talking about, I was referring to Paul Morgan Stetler. My apologies. Paul Morgan Stetler and Tori from Phantasmagoria. They're going to be interviewed by Andrea from Rue Morgue magazine, and she's going to be kind of delving into how Phantasmagoria itself is kind of getting like a second life in the horror community lately. So it's kind of her jam. She's really into the series. So I'm really looking forward to that panel. Pretty excited. I think she's going to be doing some other interviews outside of the panel as well with Paul and Tori, maybe even for her magazine, if I understand correctly. So keep an eye out for future articles there. And we have a Legends of Sierra panel, which former Sierra alum basically are going to be showing up to it. I believe we originally were trying to get Ken and Roberta in on it, but they're going to be sailing this year, so they're going to be involved. We just don't know to what extent yet, so stay tuned for more detail on that. As well as just some other great Sierra alums. It's basically get up there, Sierra story time. We're going to moderate it by Metal Jesus, Jason Lindsay. Metal Jesus is doing the Legends of Sierra. Troels is moderating the composers panel, which, that's where we're going to talk Sierra music. And, well, not just Sierra music, I guess, because George Sanger's on it as well. So retro point-and-click music, mostly. So, yeah, we got a lot of great panels lined up. I think the convention might be doing additional panels outside those, but those are the 4 that we're kind of heading up from our PC perspective.
And that's a pretty huge deal. Portland Retro Gaming Expo is the premier adventure gaming community get-together, and not just adventure gaming in general, but the fact that they're including the adventure game community on such a large scale is amazing. And yeah, just to make a nod to what Jackie mentioned about the FMV Museum, it's going to be great. It's going to feature, I think, about 25 different FMV games and lead people on a journey all the way from what is FMV right through to kind of getting into the nitty-gritty and the kind of games Roberta loved, which were like the weird ones that nobody really ever knew about, the ones that it takes you an hour on the internet to find some kind of reference to it because no one's ever talked about it or heard about it. The unseen, the hidden gems, which is a lot of how I felt about how she was with the community. She'd find the wonder in unseen hidden gems in us, in the people in the community, and she would find a way to make all of us shine. And I think that the FMV Museum is really going to be a reflection of who she is and what she means to the community. So it's going to be a really big part of this and a really big part of making Roberta's dream come true. And everybody in the community is working super hard to make that happen. And it makes, even though I'm sad about how this has come about, it makes my heart swell up because I am so happy to see the community band together in this way, because Roberta knew that we had it in us this whole time. Yep. And here we are, we're showing up and we're getting it done through grief and through these difficult times, simply because we want the community to be together and to make something of this, even for the future. We want, perhaps the band can meet up at another time at another venue. Perhaps the FMV Museum can be a traveling exhibit, like you mentioned, Jackie, and can keep the legacy going, because to me, a person has some form of immortality as long as people are talking about them and as long as the projects that they've created continue moving forward, so that keeps that person alive in spirit.
Here.
Yep, spot on.
Thank you. So, okay, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. I'm hoping to talk to a few more people tomorrow. As I said, I'm going to stitch these episodes together, but definitely this concert is going to be a huge deal for the community. So please bring out your wallets, bring out your PayPals, your Venmos, whatever it is you need to do, and pitch in. pitch in a little bit more than you think you have to. Don't drink a Starbucks drink for a while and just put it in there. Sorry, I'm not trying to boss you all around, but this is super important to me, and it really needs to happen. Joining me now are Sean Parker and Troels Pleimert, who every single person says his name differently, so maybe I could stick to Space Quest historian. Sean has been quietly but powerfully working behind the scenes to bring this whole Kickstarter to life, and Troels, as many of you know as the Space Quest historian, is also the synth brain of Error 47. So in this half of the episode, we're digging into the deeper creative layers of the show, how it all got pulled together, and what it means to honor Roberta in this way. So I'm just going to start off by saying, hey guys, how's it going?
Hi. You got extremely close with that pronunciation. I will closer than anyone else really has. So kudos on that one. Yeah.
And Mick's
so does that mean that no one has ever gotten it right then, or?
Well, Danish people don't get it right either. So I mean, because it's one of those last names that no one else has, and I'm pretty sure no one else in the world has it either. It was one of those things. My great grandfather or something was a Swedish immigrant to Denmark, and his last name was Poulsen or something like that. Paulsen, and it's like a fairly common Scandinavian last name. And he just had a complete brain fart when he came over here, and he was like, "I'm going to change my last name to something no one can ever spell. Let's go with Pleimert." Okay, fine. So I guess I'm Pleimert. And there was this huge discussion when my wife and I had our son. It's like, what should his last name be? And I just had to lobby for my last name, not because it's a lovely, pretty last name, because it most certainly isn't, but just because he would be the last Pleimert in the world after I go.
Okay, I need to add into this because my last name was made up by the border, Firtel, Firtel. It's like nobody else has this name, and I gave it up to get married, and I none of my kids actually got that name. And it's just cool to know somebody else with a made up name. And my husband, Vigu, the other name I had, it's also a made up name that was misspelled and translated through time. So that's a real trip. And Mick has joined us as well, even though it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Mick is back from the other half of the episode. I've already introduced him, but maybe you can say hi again to show me that it's true. You really are here.
Good morning.
Twice in a row, man. Oh, hot damn.
We're going to do it for Roberta, mate.
That's
Definitely.
true. Yeah, that is exactly what we're all here for. So, let's talk about Sean. What is your part?
Let's all
here?
talk about Sean.
Let's all talk about Sean.
Let's talk about Sean.
I'll just sit back, put my mic on mute, and listen to you guys for a minute.
I hear he makes great moist cakes. They're the best spongy, wet cakes you've ever tasted.
The dampest. The absolute
I think he puts
dampest.
pineapple in them.
You must. Yeah, pineapple belongs in cakes and on pizzas. Fight me. It's okay.
Was any of that context recorded, or did
Yeah.
we just...
The context is...
No, none of that
There's
was
no
recorded.
context.
No, there's no context. This is all just completely out of the blue. So, Sean, let's start with your
Yes.
role in the Kickstarter. You've been doing organizing, writing, coordinating. Are you helping to shape the tone of the campaign? I tried complimenting Sarah on her work on the Kickstarter and the other stuff with the band behind the scenes, and she's like, "Well, you also need to talk about Sean a little bit here. So, what does it look like behind the curtains?"
I guess I am just kind of here because I've got some crowdfunder experience, and I could tell that the band needed some extra muscle, just kind of, herding the cats a little bit, organizing things, and getting it ready for the public at a very accelerated time frame. So that's what I'm here for. Just putting the muscle in, getting what needs to get done, and
Sean has been picking up the slack, honestly, because we had this brief meeting where it was like decided, okay, who takes care of the set list, who takes care of the crowdfunding campaign, and JPS, our guitar player, went off to do the set list and organizing, arranging all the stuff for how the band is going to actually play it live, and the organization of the crowdfunding campaign fell to me, and I got pretty far into it, I will say. The major hurdle that came up actually was not due to my characteristic lack of organizational skills, although it quickly could have become that. But it was actually because when you launch a Kickstarter in a certain region, now I'm in Denmark, in Europe, so it had to be all converted into euro. And there was also problems with tax laws, European tax laws, which meant that a fairly sizable chunk of what we could scrape together in the crowdfunding campaign would have to go to Danish tax. And we pay a lot of taxes in Denmark, so there was that. So basically, Sean picked up from where I left off with actually putting the campaign together in in American denominations, and you actually, you should probably talk about that. We are incorporated now, aren't we?
Ooh.
Oh, we sure are. We have an LLC that came together just so we could launch this campaign.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I call myself the manager of Era 47 now.
So an indie band that's never played a gig before is now a corporate shill.
Oh yeah.
Thing.
We didn't sign up any trademarks, did we? I forget. I was drunk at the time. We didn't, did we? No. But that's actually
Dude,
that's right.
we went to the tattoo parlor together, and we've got it on our backs. That's why you don't know.
Yeah, you can't see it. You see if you can't see it, and you don't remember it.
Anna picked out mine. It was an upside-down pineapple. She said it was good luck.
That's right. It's the international symbol of good luck.
There's a bit of context. Google it if you must.
You always come to the podcast to learn something, and you guaranteed you're never going to know what it is. So.
But yeah, we are incorporated now. And Sean, what was the name of the corporation we settled on?
We settled on Irana LLC. As a nice little reference to Quest for Glory and for Roberta, the one that we're doing this all for.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Good choice. And I mean, Irana has been a part of my life since I was a little kid, so that instantly is comforting and now at this point quite poignant.
Yeah. We even pulled together quite quickly actually pulled together an Era 47 version of Irana's piece. Because we thought we were going to be playing that at the live gig, and we thought, if this is going to be for Roberta, we should definitely do a version of Irana's piece for Roberta, because it's the song that her brother Ames has written lyrics for, and we were going to have Sarah sing the lyrics to Sarah and Jackie. If Jackie, we're not really sure if Jackie could pull it together, because he was like super close to Roberta and all that. So, but he was like, yeah, let's go for it. And then it turns out Mark and Debbie Siebert were going to be there, and they were going to be performing Irana's piece. So now we have an Era 47 version of Irana's piece that we're not going to be performing, but we'll probably put it out in some fashion or other. Sarah's already recorded vocals for the quote-unquote studio version.
Wow.
And I don't know how compliment averse you are, but as someone who's fully on the outside, has nothing to do with that song, but has been hearing it coming together, it is brilliant. It sounds so good. It's fantastic, even in the work in progress state. So can't wait for that to come out and just shake the world.
Oh, jeez! Thank you very much. That was a pretty quickly put together. I have to say, it was one of those where you get the MIDI file, and then you sit down and you listen to it, and you go, okay, so where can I go with this? Because the MIDI file is like a minute and 30 seconds or something. Sierra music typically is like a minute to a minute 30 seconds and just loops. So you sit there and go, okay, so how can I build this into some sort of? And it was just one of those things where you just sort of let go and just go, okay, what's the starting chord of this? I'm just going to hold down that key and just see where it builds. And then the drums went in there, and the little arpeggio went in there, and it just it kind of built itself, really, instead of me like sitting down analytically going, okay, the arrangement has to be like this, and you have to have this bridge here, and you have to and like schematics and shit like that. It was all free flowing, like almost eyes closed kind of thing. So I'm really happy you like it, because it was sort of I don't know where this is going. So let's just see what happens.
Just a bunch of really good friends playing from the heart. That's what it was.
Because you don't even technically know the tune so much, right, Troels? I mean, you were able to work with it afresh eyes, so to speak, or ears.
That's true. I don't have much of an emotional connection to the game itself. I've never finished the Quest for Glory. Interestingly, I've been talking a lot to Ames, again, Roberta's brother, who says that Roberta really loved Quest for Glory, and one of the things that I get requested like on my channel is, when are you going to have a look at Quest for Glory? And I always like blow them off and say, God damn it, it's going to take so long. I'd have to play each game 3 times just to cover all the different paths. And
then you start hybrid characters, so you might be in for like more than that. Think about the combinations.
Yeah, but now, like, after talking to Ames and all that, I've decided that, after I'm done with all this police quest nonsense, which was basically just my excuse to take the piss out of American law enforcement, let's do Quest for Glory finally.
You heard it here, folks.
Not because everyone's been badgering me to do it. Everyone can get fucked, but just in Roberta's honor, really.
Right.
Well, why don't you play Roberta's favorite character?
Oh. Well, I'll have to look into that. Again, I have no idea what the games are even about. In fact, one of my favorite, because I've met Lauren Corey Cole on a few occasions now, like in person, and the running joke is I always like go up to Corey and go, "Hey, I still haven't finished one of your games," and he just laughs and smiles, because he was a judge in one of the Game Jam games, and he was supposed to play a game that Torpedo Bear and I, where did my accent go? Torpedo Bear and I had put together, because he was one of the judges. He was supposed to play the games, and I think he took one look at that game and just some other time. So he was like, "Yeah, I never actually played your game," and I was like, "That's cool. I've never played a Quest for Glory game, so we're even."
It works out. I just got the 2 Dr. Brain games, and one of them got the hint book recently for Hell of a Steal of a Deal, and they had some part in making them too. Not as much of a part as I thought when I talked to Corey about it personally, but they definitely had a big part in those games. And I've played the Quest for Glory series as every character in every way like 100 times. So if you ever need to ask any questions or anything else, I'm there. I'm kind of obsessed. So
I will keep that in mind. But yeah.
So you Troels, you were there from the beginning. How did Era 47 actually start? Can you give me an origin story? Was it always meant to be this? I don't know. To me, it's a strange, beautiful, heavy metal adventure game collision with nostalgia all together.
I guess the origin story is that JPS wrote me sometime. Long ago, and he said, I see that you're doing like jam games for Adventure Jam, the annual game jam where you have 2 weeks to do an adventure game, and he said, I would love to like contribute some music to that, and I said, thanks and all that. I usually do my own music and shit like that, and then that year's game jam came up, and I was doing that with Amberly, Awesome Monster. She was doing the graphics for it. And we had a hell of a good time, but we were running a bit behind schedule. So I emailed him and said, "Hey, is that offer still on the table?" And he went, "Yeah, sure." So he knocked out a soundtrack for that Game Jam game. And I sort of figured out that, he's actually pretty good at this. So eventually I would start like putting together just music just for shits and giggles, and every once in a while I'd go, "Hey, JPS, what do you think of this?" And he goes, "Yeah, let me take a look at that." And he'd put it through his mixing desk, and it would come out sounding like 100 times better than what I could scrape together. So it's sort of, I can't really say where the genesis came from, but eventually we just started collaborating on shit. And it was, at the beginning, it was just me putting stuff together and sending it to him, and he would mix it. There wasn't any, like, he wouldn't like play guitar on it or anything. It was all me and then him mixing and mastering it. And as we started doing more and more of that, I started feeling a bit guilty, because the man is an absolute beast on the guitar. And I was going, there was like a few instances where he went, "Oh, I added some guitar to this bit," like the Gabriel Knight record we did, for instance, where he added. He plays guitar on one track on that entire album, but it's such a good guitar solo that I was just like, we got to have more of this. So we went in to do we started doing an album which was just a collection of game soundtracks that I say we liked, but it was basically me just steamrolling a track list in there. He hadn't heard of half the games we did. But I was like, this time we have to get a lot more JPS in on this. I want you to play guitar on every single track. And he was like, okay. At that point, I just recently got an electric drum kit of my own.
Ooh.
So I started playing live drums, and all of a sudden we got live guitars and live drums, and it started turning into more of a industrial rock / metal thing than what was previously just an industrial thing, like electronic industrial thing. And then it snowballed, and then we started doing the Soups on 7th Guest 11th Hour thing, which just became an absolute beast. Again, live guitars and live drums, but Mick actually came by, visited me in Denmark, and we were, just having a big old piss up one evening, just getting absolutely smashed, and he picked up a bass I had lying around and just started jamming the fuck out on this thing. Now, I knew he played the bass already. Like, he played bass in some local Melbourne bands and stuff, but that was like proper heavy metal.
Yeah.
So when he picked up this bass and just started absolutely murdering this thing, but in a really like okay, this dude can actually really play. And I was like, dude, you're in the band. You don't have the option. You're just in. And he was like, really? Yeah. And then I think I can't remember if we'd already started the 7th Guest album at that point, or we were just about to. But it was just like, Mick, you're playing on this. And he was like, am I? Really? Yes, you are.
This is happening right now. How did you first get into playing the bass? Mick, what is your origins? Because, I know you as doing a lot of tech stuff, right, in your regular day-to-day life. Where did music enter in?
My cousin played guitar, and he was doing... he was in a local band, and I was doing all the mixing and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, oh, cool, I'll buy a bass. I like, bassy stuff. Used to listen to a lot of Primus and Victor Wooten, and who were really great bass players, or who are, I should say. And I just started playing, started learning the sets, and then the bass player from this band had like a bit of a prima donna moment and kind of walked out just before the set said, and I said, I can do this. So I started playing with them, and then that got the attention of a drummer, and I joined a metal band called Through My Eyes, and we did really well for about 5 years. And then I met another guy who was like really like Dillinger Escape Plan-y style guitarist, so we started doing gigs with them, and then through that, another friend of mine, I started singing in a rock and jazz band.
Ooh.
Sorry, not singing, playing bass. Okay. So I was like playing with 3 bands all at once for a while, and then the Dillinger guitarist, we worked out after many jam sessions and many drinking sessions that we did the same thing, so we formed a company together.
Wow! So music led to the tech.
Yeah. It was originally it was just me because I love tech. I was doing all the repairing amps and speakers, and I'd find an old mixing board and fix that up and give that to them, and that's how it all started for me. So, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I kind of have to ask you the same question then, Troels. When did you start playing any kind of an instrument, and why?
I don't. That's the simple answer.
Okay, good. Easy answer. Moving on.
When I was a kid, I really wanted to play music. I really wanted to do music. I wanted to record music somehow. And this is back in, when I was a kid in the 80s. And I was just never really good at playing any instruments. Picking up a guitar, it was just looking at it going, I'll never work this out in a million years. Set me down on the piano. I just hunt and peg 2 index fingers going, that key and that key sound pretty good together, but that's about it. Drums was easier for me because you don't have to tune your instrument. At least you only have to tune it once, and then you can just bash away. So drums came more natural to me. And then luckily something called mod trackers appeared in my peripheral vision.
Ooh.
It's more of an Amiga thing, and I never had an Amiga, but they some demo outfits, Finnish demo outfit, did a piece of software called Screen Tracker in early 90s, I would say. And all of a sudden, I was like, I don't need to learn an instrument because I can program this damn thing to do it for me. Now, back in those days, it was 4-channel PC speaker digital output, so it basically sounded like if Darth Vader was coughing really loud. But it just that was my jam, and I started doing mod tracker music for ages and ages and ages, and I really stuck to it for a very long time, until I guess like my late teens, early 20s actually, when I joined an industrial band in Denmark, and the lead singer guy said, okay, you got to give this tracker stuff a miss. It's mostly 8-bit samples, like really lo-fi shit. We can't work with this. We're supposed to be like a proper band. So here, let me teach you Propellerhead's Reason. Here, you can work with this, right? Okay, yeah. So I picked that up. It's basically tracker, but it's a little more high end. And then he said, okay, now you need to learn how to mix it. Here's Ableton. Don't worry, you don't have to pay for it. Here it is. And so I was working with that a bit. So now I sort of got shoved into the age of DAWs and stuff like that. Fair enough. And so that's kind of how I went into that. And drums was just sort of a thing that I never owned a drum kit when I was a kid. My granddad used to have these like plastic barrels in his basement, and he would snap off little bits of bamboo, and I would just sit in his basement banging the shit out of these plastic bins. That was how I learned how to play the drums. So when you go to school and there's a music room, and I would ask the teacher, hey, can I stay after school's over so I can fuck around for a bit, and they were really cool. Like we're talking high school here. They would let me stay in the music room after school until like 5 p.m. or something.
Self-motivated, cool. Or you just didn't want to go home. I mean, but both, right?
No, I had a very good childhood. My parents were fantastic, but it was just like, I get to fuck around with instruments that I never, there's no room for them at home or whatever. They're expensive or whatever. But here I can just fuck around with a drum kit. So that's pretty much how it's ass backwards is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I never, like what Mick did, I never, joined a band because my skills were just so fucking awesome or anything. I played drums in some punk bands when I was in my early 20s, but, just nothing that really went anywhere. Just shits and giggles, really.
Still,
so why?
Go ahead.
Why the fuck I'm in the position that I'm in, arranging all the tunes that we do and shit like that? I have no idea. People just seem to go along with it. I'm the least talented in the band by far, but for some reason they just go along with it anyway.
If I may interject on that, I think you're full of the poo-poo. You are really good at what you do, mate.
Yeah. I mean,
thanks.
your content's so good that my dad catches it on YouTube and watches it.
Well, luckily that has nothing to do with music.
No, but still, it's all sort of the activities of somebody who likes to do things rather than just passively take in life.
Everything Troels touches has its own distinct, appealing flavor.
Yeah. Well,
I've got 2 staff members who are really, really good musicians, and they know all the theory and stuff, and they've listened to Soup's on, and they just go, oh, they're playing polyrhythms here, and they're doing this. This is really cool. And then they're like, what do you do again? And what? Never mind. Just leave me alone.
Well, that was funny. The funny thing about Soup's on is, I really lobbied hard for Mick to be in the band because you're. Is it fair to say you were a bit reluctant to begin with?
Well, I hadn't really played for like 10 years, time was a factor, and then I thought, bugger it, I started playing again, and got into it, and learned a few of the songs, and I went, oh, okay, yeah, this is really cool, and then got right into it, and then I stupidly cut my index finger on my left hand, which is by fret hand, because and just the nerve damage was too painful, so it took me like 3 months to get right back into it after the little operation I needed on it. So
that one was fun. But yeah, because that was right when we were we started doing the Seventh Guest, and I was like, Mick, you're gonna play bass on this, and then he like just when we're like ready to start tracking other instruments after I've done all the arrangement shit, and he goes, well, I just severed my index finger. Like, oh,
no.
Cool. But we did like we were talking about, okay, so Mick can play on maybe like 6 or 7 tracks or something. You ended up playing on most of them anyway, didn't you? You just torpedoed right through them.
I think I did about 12.
Wow.
And I actually, my old one of my best mates who he was my bass teacher when I started taking it a bit more seriously, but then, like in all things around me, we just start talking shit and not doing anything fun properly. I played him the album, and his 2 favourites were Jazzy Medley and Now and Forever, which they were a lot of fun to play. But Now and Forever was just a different way of style of playing, and he had to he helped me push me through that song Now and Forever, because he's just one of them really lovely dudes. So shout out to my friend Ben.
Nice.
Yeah, love you, brother.
I remember because when we were recording Seventh Guest, and you started tracking your bass, it was like you could only play bass for an hour at a time before your hand started screaming no more. And I remember you texting me and going, I'm trying to track bass for Now and Forever, which is the closing song on the Seventh Guest. And he was like, I hate you. This song. Because apparently the bass is really... I had no idea. Again, no formal training over here. I just put in a bass part that I thought, yeah, this will be easy.
It was just a completely different style of playing. It's like, you become, you play like an ordinary bass player, which I honestly feel I am. And, all of a sudden you got to play like Les Claypool or Nate Navarro or I'm just going, Jesus Christ, how the hell do these people do this? And and I'm really, really glad that last year at the fanfare I got to tell George that same thing.
Yeah, because I should point out I don't write the parts per se. I take the MIDI files in and I do my thing to them, but a lot of the bass parts and stuff, they are just from the original MIDI files. There is a section in the middle of Now and Forever that I did write because it needed sort of an extended bridge from one part of the song to the other, which was nerve-wracking for me because I had to tell George, I actually wrote some stuff in your song. Is this okay? And he listened to it and he said, that's fine. So I was like really quick to ask Mick, it's not the bit in the middle that's causing you trouble, is it? Because I wrote that, and he was like, no, it's all the other stuff. Okay,
right.
Cool. Then it's not on me.
Phew. We're good.
It is on you, because you made me play this bloody album.
Well, I'm sure glad, because honestly, the bass is the backbone. My middle son plays the upright bass, and it's beautiful, but you don't often get a concert where they're playing on their own, right? I mean, they're there to enhance the rest of the music and make everything tie together. But when you take it out, for example, say like on Injustice for All of a sudden somebody goes and removes all of the bass that was added in by Dave Mustaine. The whole album changes, and there was a fan project and they brought the bass back into it, and it does sound much more cohesive.
Yeah. It wasn't Dave Mustaine, was it? It was
the guy from Megadeth. Yeah,
it was Jason Newsted. Yeah,
he joined during Justice for All.
Yeah.
And he played the bass, and they took out the bass because Lars Ulrich is an asshole.
They did. No, I read Dave
Mustaine's
Mustaine's autobiography.
He's
yes,
a Danish
he
asshole.
is.
big ass Danish asshole. Yeah. And that was fun, and exactly what you're saying, because the record that JPS and I did before that was called C Does Run. Again, it was just a collection of tracks that we thought were pretty fun to play, and that was the one where we started doing live drums and live guitars and stuff. But everything else was synth. including the bass.
Right.
And so when we started doing Seventh Guest and we started getting mixed bass tracks in, we were like, yes, this is what we were missing, really, because you can do synth bass all you like, but if you get a real bass player in there who can go up and down the fret and do improvise stuff that you can't analytically get to when you're just programming a synth bass, it just sounds better.
Well, my job essentially was to fatten up JP's sound, because you throw that behind him and it just and he's one of the best musicians I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to shaking that bloke's hand this year.
Oh my gosh, I bet you are. He's, as I said on the earlier, is the only one I haven't met yet.
That's the thing, right? Yeah, because him and I started this thing, and became like Era 47. It was just JPS and me, and then everyone else came on board later. And I've met everyone else in the band, but I've never met JPS in person.
No.
So literally, this gig in Portland is going to be the first time I'm ever physically in a room with the dude that I started a band with, however many years ago. That's gonna be.
You've created a James Gunn film. You're just a bunch of ragtag people together trying to do something.
That's true too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a question of you, Sean, and I am going to pose the question to everybody else.
Oh,
but I
Sean's
just
still here.
Yeah, I think so.
Hello.
uh,
You guys are doing great. I don't need to be here.
Good job. No, it's. Should I even ask? Actually, before I ask my next question, do you have anything to do with music, Sean? I've never talked about that side. Like, did you play any instruments growing up or sing in a choir?
I did. My parents kind of insisted that I give it a shot because they're musicians. They've been playing for ages. And so they got me into piano. And I was not really... I was kind of reluctant about it. But they hooked me up with a friend of theirs who was a piano teacher that... he was great. His name was Rick Weiss. He's still at it, as far as I know. And he would get kids into playing piano by having them bring in like a track from their favorite video game, for instance, and he would listen to it and he would just
so smart
scribble out the sheet music in a jiffy and then teach you that. And so
Jesus.
that was the magic bullet to get me really into piano, because then I could play the music from all these obscure like Mac shareware games that I have, because I was on a Mac household and could not really enjoy games properly for a long time. So yeah, I learned how to get into piano by learning how to play the soundtrack to Bugdom and Harry the Handsome Executive and a bunch of other obscure random titles.
Wow. That's a great name.
That's thank you, Sean. You've just reminded me. But back when I was a kid, I bought the Leisure Suit Larry collection book, and in the book they actually had the sheet music for the Larry theme.
Oh wow!
And I gave it to my cousin who was playing guitar at the time, and I went to watch him learn music, and we handed him the book, and he just started jamming out the Larry theme.
Yeah.
And taught my cousin how to play it, which was really cool.
Oh, more games should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's better than listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers for the millionth time from my cousin. So that was was really good.
Anything else, please, or like Nothing Else Matters from Metallica. It's one of the easiest guitar songs, and people will just play that over and over and over and over. Even I learned that one.
See, that's why that's another reason why I keep saying that I'm not really a musician. It's because like when you were a kid and you'd go to like parties, someone would bust out an acoustic guitar and start taking requests, and and if I told someone, oh, I can like play a little bit of piano, they'd go, oh, can you play this tune? I was like, no, all I can do is like noodle on my own. I don't know music theory very well. I can't read sheet music. I can't read tablature. I can't do any of that shit. I know where a C is. I know where a G is and stuff. I know if I hold down these three keys, it sounds good. But if I hold them down this way, it sounds bad. So I shouldn't do that. That's the extent of my musical training.
I feel ya.
I remember on your podcast, Troels, that you said you could play the Space Quest 3 theme.
Yeah, because I listened to, I was playing along, listening to it, going, okay, it's this key. Like you play one note and then you pause it and then you go on your keyboard do 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 until you hit the right note. That's how I learned.
That's cool. That's good braining, though. I mean, it's not all formulaic. Like you figured it out all on your own. You've had to create all of those neural pathways and stuff.
Yeah, but there's no real musical theory behind it. It's all, and that's why a lot of the Era 47 stuff is we take the
Sounds and
original
stuff.
MIDI files. Yeah, we take the original MIDI files and work off of those, because if I had to recreate them from scratch, I mean, we'd never get anything done, and I would never be able to play like stuff like the seventh guys, like George Sanger has done. I mean, he's a fucking magician when it comes to all that. There's no way I could replicate it. So what we do is, and anything we do, we take the original MIDI files from the games, capture them, or if someone's bounced them. The good thing about Sierra games is you have SCI Companion and stuff like that, so you can go in and bounce the MIDI tracks off of the games themselves, and I load those up into the DAW, and then I start. That's why I call it reorchestrating instead of like remixing or anything like that, because it is basically just import a MIDI file and then start fucking around with it. Start picking the instruments and go, okay, so now if I take this bit and I extend it a bit, then I can start adding percussion, or I can double this instrument up and make this an arpeggio instead of like a full, just stuff like that. Just mess around with it. So it's not really recreating a soundtrack. It is it's fucking with it. And the more we started fucking with, the more we started bringing people on, like Erik, who plays the violin and is a really good piano player, Fred, who's really good with like classic synths and Hammond organs for some reason, and and Mick, who plays the bass really beautifully. As long when you start stacking up talented people to start playing the bits that were just like
you can knock me out of that category, please.
Nobody here is talented. Okay, that's fair. Moving on.
Except for Erik. I mean, he's classically trained.
Yeah, he's not here to defend himself.
Oh wait, no.
Give him all the credit.
JP has studied classical guitar, and he's a guitar teacher, and runs his own music shop. So he is. Also
that is real. That's like very grown up sounding real. He does sound very grown up on the podcast, so that's good.
Oh, he is, and he works at a lightning speed too. Yeah. Like usually the Era 47 stuff, even before we became like a quote unquote real band, when it was just me doing stuff and him doing the mixes and stuff, I'd send him something, time zone differences. He's awake when I sleep and vice versa. So I'd send him something in the evening, and I'd wake up the next day and he'd already have a mix ready to go the next day. I was like,
that's beautiful. Didn't sleep.
No one works that fast. No, he was awake while I was sleeping, and he just knocked it out in a single day. It was amazing.
It's good to have somebody like that on the team too, because then things actually get done. So this is open table question to all of you, but what is one thing about Roberta that you think people outside of our circle might not understand, but maybe they should, that would help them sort of get the depth of this project and why we want it to go through and get funded, and it's so important to us?
I've got one, but I'll let someone else answer first because I talk way too much.
I've already had my piece on that, but again,
but okay.
she's just she walks into the room and everything becomes chill. Everything feels like home. Everything feels just lovely and nice, and no matter how caring or empathetic or awesome you may be, she just tops you by default.
Yes. Yeah.
And extremely generous, kind, loving soul. It's just,
well said.
Thank you.
She was a inspiringly hardworking as well. Like, she took everything that she did extremely seriously. Like, she took kindness seriously. She knew that the tangible benefits that could come from building people up, building community, championing the projects that she wanted to champion, and just like she was a wonder at that. Just the amount of just the sheer amount of people that she connected. Probably, I would say, the majority of the people that I spend time interacting with these days seem like Roberta had a hand in connecting me to them, for sure, which is no small thing. So she was just remarkable as both a friend and also just as this just kind of, unstoppable force to be reckoned with in the industry and the communities of adventure games and beyond.
Well, that like she casts out such a wide net for the community and brought so many people in, but then you can sit there and have a one-on-one with her and just start talking, and then you go, holy shit, we've just been talking crap for 8 hours and the sun's coming up, sort of thing.
It's true.
It's
Yeah, how does one person give you so much individual attention, but also do it for so many other people, but not a single person felt neglected and everybody felt included? It's wild, and I can't even comprehend it, and I'm so blessed to have had a chance to be a part of something like that, and I hope I can learn from it.
Well,
I hope we all can.
If now that I think about it, if you walk through the door of Roberta, it's like the fireplace is going, there's a cold beer or a wine or whatever your liverkin may be, and she's got an hoodie there for you and a beanbag, and it's just she was just comfort, pure comfort, and it's just it's just I'll say what I've said to everyone. It really sucks what happened.
Yeah.
But we've got to be there for Ames and the fams, and send off a great tribute to a great person.
Exactly that. Okay, Troels, you have a story. You've heard everybody else's. What's your words?
I mean, it's all that's been said is true. We kept telling her she was the glue that held everything together, and she was. Like you said, she had her hand. Like she cast the white net, she had her hand in everything, but never like took the spotlight for herself. Even when we tried to like shove her into the spotlight, I remember when I was doing my first PAX panel, which she insisted that I be present for.
Thank goodness.
She had to give the introduction to the panel, and that's the only time I saw her like really sweating bullets. And she was like, I don't want to be there. I just want to be backstage and make sure everyone has a good time. So I mean, in a sort of weird roundabout way, doing all of this in her name, in her honor. If she knew that, like from beyond the grave, she would like be super embarrassed. And
even this episode, she'd be like, "What the hell, guys? Like fundraise, but why do you need to bring me up so much?"
Yeah, it's just like just be quiet. I think the question was one thing about Roberta that maybe no one else really knows. It's a lot of people were really close to Roberta, myself included. And the one thing that always struck me, and I think the reason why, not only is this gig going to go ahead, but we are not going to like bring the mood down. Right. We're going to keep on doing what it was we wanted to do originally, is because she had such a great sense of humor and a very sort of mischievous streak about her, because she loved like not just community and happiness and keeping everyone around, but she had this really positive sort of dark side. Like she really loved to rock out, for instance, and she really loved her horror movies, and she loved like this weird gothy shit. You could go to like thrift stores and find weird like bats and shit, like rubber bats and stuff like that. Like she was into that. So if we were going to like pull in a string quartet and hand out Kleenex to everyone, she would roll in her grave. Come on. So I think the one thing I'm taking from it is if we're gonna do this gig, we should do it the way that she wanted us to do it, not bring the house down and not have a big wheat party. Just rock out.
A celebration of life. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the one who lobbied for us to be there in the first place. She was the one who got the whole ball rolling. She was the one who had the contacts at the Portland Retro Game Expo, and she was the one who really wanted to put this gig together because she wanted to be in that crowd and rock out. So even though she's not going to be in the crowd, we're still going to do what she wanted us to do originally. We're going to rock out.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear you put it that way. It's definitely a tribute. It's also a celebration, and we hope people walk away from it feeling that feeling of positivity and community and togetherness, that the energy that's going to come from the music and the event. I mean, we have to pump everybody back up. We've been a bit deflated. Our pumper upper is not with us anymore. So this event, at least for me, I feel, because it's also, hey guys, did you know it's going to also be live streamed? So you don't even have to be there to get this really cool energy and to really be a part of the group. It's there for everybody, no matter where you are.
Yeah, and I guess I'm saying it to sort of deflect if someone were to see, okay, so how can you guys plug in amplifiers and start making all of this ungodly noise? Where is your sense of respect and all that sort of stuff? I'm like, this is our sense of respect. This is what she wanted us to do, so we're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. She was like the best combination of humor and intelligence that I've ever been able to come across. She could take lines from so many different directions and put them all together and then say something funny, but also so on point that you're laying awake at 2 a.m. thinking about the concept.
Yes, and it's absolutely true what Mick says, because Roberta and I would also like stay up until like 6 a.m. and just talk shit.
Yeah,
like just not just, okay, now we're gonna plan this and the community and all that sort of stuff. But she really took time to just sit there. She loved to chat to people. She just didn't want to be in the spotlight. She didn't want any glory or honor for herself. And it seems so trite to say that in a way, but she genuinely didn't want any spotlight on her. She just wanted people to get together and have a good time.
Truly.
So yeah, she was great to talk to. She was an amazing person to be around, and the vibes that she gave off, and just effusively like hug you and compliment you, and you try and compliment her back, and she just wave it off and say, yeah.
I know. I remember telling her that she was a girl's girl because she taught me how to do like the cool makeup and the sparkles and wear my shirt, in the awesome way that she wears her shirt that is actually in freaking style now. I'm like, she started it. It's from the old school, and now everybody's doing it. And she just is like, no, I'm not a girl's girl. I'm a tomboy. And I'm like, well, then you pull off being a girl better than I do, because everything I know about being a girl I've learned from you here. So,
well, one thing, like if you threw a vocal compliment or or typed it out or whatever, it'd be go, But if you like Troels has mentioned with and I've mentioned with the big shit talk sessions, you give her a cuddle and she'll squeeze the life out of you if she could.
Yep.
Because she's just so grateful and loving, and it's just that's appreciation and a compliment all at the same time.
It's true.
So, because you feel loved and you know that she loved you back, sort of thing.
True.
So.
It's true. In fact, because of that, I've been a little more open. As a Canadian, I'm a little bit conservative with my I love yous, because it's like, this is something you say to your family on holidays or the person you're married to. It was like, I don't know, it's just kind of how I grew up. And through her, I've learned it's like, no, you have to give people great big hugs and make sure they love it and tell them you love them and love everybody, and really just open yourself up to the positive energies of the world, and don't be so damn Canadian and conservative. And I've taken that with me. So I love all you guys. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Well, but both you and I being from Victoria and a tad conservative.
True.
Yeah, Roberta, opened our eyes to that.
She did.
Yeah, and
it's
one thing my business partner and slash ex band or bandmate. Like he'll always give me a big hug.
Yeah.
At the end of the day too, he's very much like Roberta, and he goes, "Mate, I love you," and I'll go, "Yeah, I know, dude, but we're blokes, and that makes me feel weird." And he goes, "Yeah, but we may not be around tomorrow, so just make sure you tell everyone that you love them."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely like that, and the whole being so Canadian, Danish people are also a bit closed off in that regard,
right.
and I vividly recall being slightly off put by the effusive amount of love that she could put out, really. So I remember even telling her, this whole "I love you" thing, it's not just it kind of makes me feel a bit weird, to be honest. And she was like, okay, sorry, I'll keep that to a minimum. And she would have forgotten by the next time she texted you. It was like, "Good night, I love you," and it's like,
she just couldn't turn that off.
No, she couldn't. And it took me a while to sort of come around and go, okay, yes, it's a different mindset than what I'm used to, because I don't go around hugging my friends either.
No.
And I get a little weirded out by it almost. Some of it is probably the whole autism thing.
It feels so forced, doesn't it? Like, this is a social utility. I'm supposed to wrap my arms around you in a specific way, whatever, if it makes you happy.
It's that whole thing, like, how long do we do it?
If you remember one night, Troels, that you and I and Bien were on your couch, and you gave me a kiss on the cheek.
Aww.
Oh, yeah.
That's you're the first bloke to ever give me any form of kiss, and I hope it's the last, because I don't really swing that way. No offense, but Jesus.
Well, neither do I. But here's the thing about that sort of thing. I do that to weird people out.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny. I think, I mean, it came from the heart, obviously, but also I knew you would be weirded out by it. So
specifically you were targeted, Mick.
Yeah. Well, I do that to everyone. I mean, Torpedo Bear and I French kissed on a number of occasions just to weird people out around us. But
you're a showman through and through. That's all.
No, but here's the thing. I would do that, to weird people out, because again, it's sort of a closed off kind of thing. She would like be honestly really caring and loving, and not hide that behind any sort of veneer of I'm just doing this to be funny. I'm just doing this for the shits and giggles and stuff like that. She
real.
Actually meant it.
It was
and
real.
that's something I still really can't. I'm not as open as she was about that sort of stuff.
She was an insanely awesome, like a spotlight with an aperture in front of it. Like, she would just stuff it, open it right up, and just beam out hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So, all right, you guys, let's say this show goes perfectly. Then, what next? Would you want to do this again? Is it a once in a lifetime thing? What's the story here? Do you have any hopes for the future, or are you just going to go, okay, that was great, big fun, did concert, done?
I think it depends on how traumatized we are at the close of this crowdfunding campaign.
I think it lives and breathes by the crowdfunding campaign, and I see this as a once-in-a-lifetime thing. If it happens again, cool. But the logistics of getting a band like ours together in a room is nearly insurmountable. If it wasn't for Roberta getting the ball rolling, we would have just, if anyone else had asked us, we would just have written it off, like a sight unseen. Because there's just no way this could... The only person who could put it together was Roberta. And everyone else, like, we've all had to, like, pick up the slack and try to think like Roberta and try and get... Luckily, she had all the doors open for us already.
It's true.
Because if we had to start from square one, there's no way in hell this would ever have come together, even as far as it is now. So if it happens again, that would be great. But I think after the gig, we're going to go back to being our internet band thing. We would love to get into scoring games. Sean has actually encouraged us to start thinking about lending our services out to like indie adventure games, for instance.
Good
Anyone
idea.
want to have a game scored? You can reach out to Error 47. That sort of stuff. But as far as being a live touring band,
Troels, man.
think so.
Sorry, Troels, but imagine that, like Fogtown, just having a Just having a death metal track going through, that'd be, yeah.
Would fit for the scene when they're at the concert or something, you know. Can
Or
build
for
a
our
scene
blooper
around-
reel when the puppets are falling apart left and right.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's so many heads would fall off, like just
Yeah,
headbanging
heads
so
will
hard.
roll. That's
Sorry,
great.
Sean.
I will say, Troels did take a little stab at taking a little tune that I threw together for Fogtown and putting it through his reorchestrated, kind of taking the MIDI and doing this thing with it, and I was pretty blown away with how cool
I bet.
it sounded. So I think it's a good time to kind of mention the Kickstarter rewards. One of them being
Please.
that you get a track of your choice reorchestrated in the true Error 47 style by the whole gang. That's really cool. That's really, really, really cool. It's being offered at very cheap for what it is, and for the sheer talent that you're going to be getting.
$100 gets you a whole track reorganized. Imagine, or reorchestrated. Imagine, getting this anywhere else. It's not. And I mean, you want a full EP of 3 to 5 tracks? Throw in $250, and you are good to go. That's pretty epic.
I had to convince him to put it up that high in the first place.
It's worth it. That's a good deal.
I mean, Troels is not saying it lightly when he says that Jon Paul Sapsford is one of the best musicians around. He really means that. I fully believe that. The whole gang is extraordinarily talented and comes together in this. I mean, they're going to go places. Just people don't know much about them yet, but just you wait.
We're internet. Sean, we're internet nerds. We go from the music room to the kitchen and the fridge and maybe the toilet sometimes, but that's about it.
It's funny you should say thank you, by the way. It's again like one of the you had to convince me to put that up on the high list because again, that's imposter syndrome on my part. It's just like, who's gonna pay us to fuck with their favorite game soundtrack? But it's looking back on it, actually we did Error 47 did a record of Duke Nukem 3D music, which is you look at Duke Nukem 3D and go, well, that's not an adventure game, that's not really in their wheelhouse, but it is a DOS game and such. But that whole record came about because I had a similar reward on my Patreon, which was that if you pledge so and so a month, then you could have a track reorganized. And some dude, the only dude, by the way, some dude actually said, all right, I'll pledge that amount. Here's a track from Duke Nukem 3D. And so I messed with it. I put it together and sent it off. And then the next month he came back and went, here's another track from Duke Nukem 3D. And next month, here's another track from Duke Nukem 3D. And it in the end, we had 5 tracks from Duke Nukem 3D.
Ooh, I like it.
That was really good.
That was so good.
Do you have a soundboard, Mick?
No.
I was like, was that Mick or Sean?
Yeah.
That was really good. But then eventually we were like, maybe we can put this out on a vinyl.
It's got a good forward momentum and energy going that really matches the pace of what the game is about, but makes it harder. It's so good.
Well, it was so funny because obviously we'd just been doing these for fun, and to be perfectly honest, when he sent me a Duke Nukem track, I just sort of took the piss out of it, really. I just went, all right, I'm just going to go balls to the wall EDM industrial shit with it. Just give him something that has almost nothing to do with the original. I think I turned in like a 7.5 minute remix of the first level music or something. I think that was the first one. But he kept coming back, and eventually JPS, because I was sending them to JPS to mix them. After like the third or fourth, we were like, maybe we should mix these properly. So JPS got in on it. And eventually we just said, let's do this as a crowdfunding thing. Let's put these on an actual album. And he went, we don't have the rights to do that, and the rights are actually still in the hands of living people. It's not like it's abandonware or anything. Like, we could get away with stuff like Space Quest and Sierra soundtracks and stuff like that because no one really knows where the rights to those soundtracks are.
Right.
stuff like Duke Nukem 3D, that's firmly in the hands of the two original composers, one of which is a fucking lawyer. And who is
So yeah.
and who is, by the way, and I found out that after the fact, who is very, very precious with copyright. He's been known to shut down fan projects, fan remixes that use his tunes and all that. So we're talking about two people, Bobby Prince and Lee Jackson. Bobby Prince is the lawyer, really precious about his material. We went to Lee Jackson first.
Right.
Who is much more sort of yeah, all right, I'll have a listen to it. If you pay me some licensing fees, then we're good to go. That's fine. And based off of that, he said, well, he said, okay, so half of the songs you've done are actually not mine. They're Bobby Prince's. So you should probably reach out to him. Again, I had no idea what type of person Bobby Prince was, so I just sent him a message on Facebook of all places and said, can we do this album? Lee Jackson says it's okay. And I got a message back that said, if Lee Jackson says it's okay with me.
Phew.
Yeah, just pay the licensing fees and it's all done. And after we got the whole ball rolling, put this thing up on Q-Rates to get the vinyl funded. I was messaging folks on my Discord saying, hey, we've got this Duke Nukem 3D crowdfunding thing going, please share it around and stuff like that. And one of the guys went, you got permission from Bobby Prince? And I was like, yeah, he just said it was okay. He was like, no one else has ever gotten permission from Bobby Prince. Oh, well, maybe they should go to Lee Jackson first then. But that was fun.
Oh, that's a good story too. I like the behind the scenes on that stuff. And yeah, if you give up $400, you can have lunch with the band, all access, right? So you can also do for $300.
We'll even buy you a beer.
Yeah, they'll even, or as we said earlier, Mick will give you way too much beer.
Yep. And then you'll wake up in the morning and it'll be a you problem. That's for sure.
That's it.
Yep.
Night's over and it's all on you now.
and you will get there's a kiss on the cheek included in that reward.
One kiss on the cheek from Mick.
From you, not from me.
Oh yeah, well, there will be cheek kissing either way.
As a tier, should we add like $1,000? You get to kiss Mick, and we'll film it,
and he has to take it.
Go on, Mick. Do it for Roberta.
So before
I'm just so damn ugly. Like, why?
But you play the bass so beautifully.
Yeah,
Can they kiss your bass?
Excuse me while I kiss your bass.
Well, it'll be a rented bass over in America, so who knows? Don't touch that. We don't know where you've been, sort of thing. So.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. We will absolutely put together a reorchestration or even an EP if you like. We will, as I said, do it in our own style, and it's basically the Duke Nukem 3D story over again. You give us a soundtrack that you really like, and you can even sort of say what direction we're going to go in, but we might just ignore that and just do our thing, because again, it's one of those, you close your eyes, you feel your way through it, and something comes out at the end. So if you're like forcing yourself to go in a certain direction, it sometimes comes out a bit shit. Yeah, actually, we're as part of the whole Soups On thing, we're doing a remix album as well. Just different takes on some of the different material that was there, and we got a request from George the Fat Man Singer, original composer, who said, I like your version of Skeletons in the Closet, the closing theme from the 7th Guest. I like your version of it, but you do know it's in the wrong key, right? And we went, no. And you do know there are like these gang vocals in the background that go hup, hup, and all that stuff. And you don't have those on your version. And we're like, okay. So he said, I have a request for your remix album. Would you please record a version of Skeletons that has the right keys and has all the elements from the original? And I went, yeah, sure, absolutely. Because George has been nothing but kind to us, gave us the rights to do. Again, it's, he owns the copyrights to the music, and he didn't want any licensing fees for it. He just said, all right, you can go ahead and do this free of charge. So we're very much indebted to George. So if he asks us to do something, we fucking do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I went back to the original and made sure it was in the right key and all of that. And he even sent us like tablature, which I had JPS translate into dumb speak for me so I could work out what the key was. And we put it together, and it came out sounding like Marilyn Manson does Skeletons in the Closet. Like big thundering toms and all that sort of stuff. So it's still the original arrangement. It's got everything in the original. It just still sounds a bit Error 47-ish.
Right.
And the backing vocals are not so much singing as they are, let's say, growling slightly.
Right.
So it's, but I mean, we can put it down to we technically did it. So that's the sort of thing you're gonna get on those tiers. You're gonna get the raw Error 47 experience, for good or bad.
So it'll be finger quotes. Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah. I think what I'm getting at is if you pledge to those tiers, we will give it our best. We will treat it like any other project that we've done, and we'll do it to the best of our abilities. We may throw in some curveballs, and if that is your thing, then absolutely go and do it. If you're expecting like a straight cover Billy Joel style, that's probably not what we're gonna do.
Right.
We will throw something at you that you probably didn't expect, but you might like it.
That's exactly how we would hope it would have to go. So before we wrap up the episode, is there anything else anybody else wants to mention or pitch or say about this event or anything really in general?
I would, if you don't mind.
For sure. Please, Mick.
Come on down. A lot of us are flying from a great distance to remember our old mate. It's going to be kick-ass, and it's going to be awesome, and we're all going to have fun and have that bonded family kind of feeling that Roberta all shared and love with us. I would also like to recommend going to a YouTube channel called Hapstance. They're pretty awesome. And the Space Quest Historian, and the CG Classic Gamers Guild podcast. Oh, sorry, that wait a minute. We're on that, aren't we? Yeah.
We might be.
Might be. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
Might be. But if not, then they can go and find us, and I always appreciate the shout out.
Bloody oath, we'll shout it out, and if that's about it. But just if you love Birdie, come on down, because we're gonna do our best and rock out hard. To celebrate that lovely beating heart that she had, and kindness and everything else.
And if you can't make it to Portland, we are moving heaven and earth to be as inclusive as possible to the entire world to experience this concert in its full glory. And that is going to be with a live stream, and it will be available, as a recording later as well. But it's not just throwing up a webcam at the back of the venue. Like, we're hiring a events professional that will be multicams with like a live switcher. It's going to be treated like a real deal concert in the way that we do the video. And I think that will make for a really cool experience for anyone who can't be there, and it's going to be free. It's just tune in, public, wherever you are. So for those who aren't going to be able to make it, and if you have just a few bucks that you can spare toward the crowdfunder to help us cover the costs of pulling off that live stream, that's immensely appreciated. And we'll do everything that we can to stretch those dollars to their absolute maximum.
Yeah, it's really important to mention that anything that has to do with the crowdfunding, it's not going in anyone's pocket, but the organization that goes into it. It's paying for the venue and the getting people flown out and all that sort of stuff. It's and putting together the live stream and making it as professional as we can, and elevating it to the standards that we've that we feel Roberta deserved, really, and make it as professional as possible. And I will also mention that in addition to the professional live stream, all of that will be cut together into a concert video that you can peruse later down the line. And if you, for some reason, can't watch YouTube, you will have a live album out as well. And all of that will also be absolutely free.
Ooh.
There's no So this is going to be not just an event that happens one time and is then relegated to obscurity or memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be something that we can capture and then keep for posterity forever and share that with everyone forever. And also, very importantly, it's not just Era 47 that's on stage and doing the whole rocking out thing, although we will most definitely be there. Mm-hmm. It's also all the other tributes that are coming in, because when people realize that not only was this going to be a live gig that Roberta was organizing, but now that Roberta is no longer here, it's turned into this tribute event. So we've got like Ken Allen has written a piece specifically for Roberta's, in tribute to her, that he's going to be showing at this event, and Robert Holmes has written a piece, and Mark Siebert and Debbie Siebert are going to be there performing Irana's piece and all that sort of shit. So it's not just a rock concert of music that you might not be interested in. It's got that second element to it. That it's gonna be more than just a concert. It's gonna be an event that we can all look back on and go, we did this for our friend, and this is sort of our gift to her. Mm-hmm. Perhaps a bit belatedly, but this is our gift to her memory.
And you know what the silly thing is, Troels?
Me giving you a kiss on the cheek again.
Aw.
Because it will happen now. Now you said it.
Now it's been started.
No. You said that.
Now it's going to be a trend.
Oh God.
That's the first thing we're going to do when we see you.
What I was going to say is, if this builds up, if Roberta was still around and we absolutely sucked at this gig, she'd still love it to death. Mm-hmm. And that's a thought that kills me.
Yeah. I mean, we were actually. I mean, when she suggested it, we were like, "It's gonna be a fucking train wreck." You do realize that? And she was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I just want to see you guys perform." So now, when it turned into the thing it did, mm-hmm. After she passed away, we were like, "Okay, we gotta up our game. We're gonna really practice." I mean, there is every opportunity for this for this band. We only have like 1 week to rehearse. Like, we've never been all together in a room before, so it's really like mm-hmm. practicing at home, getting all our shit ready to show up for this 1 week of rehearsal, mm-hmm. To play this. So everyone learns their parts before they get to the actual place, and so when we all get in a room, it's like, we have 5 days to make this work. Yeah, let's fucking go.
Let's go.
It's like the Freddie Farkas theme all over again, if you're talking about it like that.
No, but it is. It's like the motivation to actually like really pull this off in a really. I'm not saying we were like half-hearting it when it was first, but it was like we knew that it was probably going to be a little weird, and Roberta was like, no, you guys are going to be fine. Yeah. And now it's more like, okay, the extra motivation to really mm-hmm. kick ass is we're going to give it 100%, and now we're going to give it 120.
Yeah.
If anyone, just one more thing, sorry,
sure,
Anna,
it's okay.
Being our lovely host, if anyone follows Josh Mandel and you haven't given to the Vaughan family to help out the medical expenses for Roberta, please do, because over in America, it's not cheap to die. So if you want to give the family a hand, help them out. That would take the stress off the folks and Ames, because one of the worst things in life you can ever experience is you outlive your children.
Mm-hmm, of course.
And so just chip in.
Yep.
Give a hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, go ahead.
So we hope that. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. We hope everyone knows that this isn't a half-hearted attempt to like cash in on the memory of someone dearly departed. It's we're
following
very,
through.
very,
Yeah.
very sincere about this. It's something that Roberta wanted, and it's something we're going to give to her, even if she's not around to experience it.
Yeah, and this and the FMV Museum, Portland Retro Gaming Expo featuring adventure games primarily through panels and through events. This is the dream, right? This is a really big deal.
Yeah, we were talking about the Portland Retro Game Expo when we were at the fanfare last time. We were saying, okay, so we've done a few. Roberta and I have done a few panels and PAX and the fanfare, and the fanfare was going really well, and she was like, we need to keep this train rolling.
Yeah,
we need to how about the Portland Retro Game Expo? It seems like a perfect place for us to stretch our tentacles out. So she was really into that. So this was all part of her master plan.
It really is.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah. We've all had many a conversation with her about this. It's not just a concert. It's a tribute to a friend. It's a moment for the community and a chance to honor the past while doing something brave and loud and real. So
Yes.
if anybody listening hasn't yet, go to the Kickstarter, search Error 47 Live in Portland, or use the linky just underneath the show notes there. Back it, share it. Let's all be a part of something entirely unforgettable here, because this was meant to be, and this is going to happen. And I know our community is really good at rallying together and making things happen. So thanks to all of you for coming on the show and having a talk about it, so we can share the love out there in the community, because that's what it's all about. We're here to help each other and support each other and carry on in the vein that Roberta wanted us to, that she's always wanted us to. So thanks, guys.
And thank you. And time is kind of against us, really. We have a very short time to meet this goal. We have
really quick. Don't think about it. Like, I'm literally recording this and releasing it on the weekend. This is not the usual time you'd be getting an episode. This is a little bit more than a week early. We are just getting it out there because I think by the time you hear this, there's going to be a little less than a week and a half left. So up.
Yeah. We had to do a 15-day campaign and not a 31, simply because we just need to get the funds in as early as possible to pay the venue what they're owed, so that this will happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So no sitting back thinking I'll just do this next month. We need to get rolling because the gig is in October, and there's still a lot a lot of little pieces that need to come together. So we hate to be pushy. But we're going to be.
We got to be a little bit pushy here.
Well,
Sorry, everyone.
As we say in Australia, we're not here to fuck spiders. Just donate cash and let's play this gig.
Hell yes. And on that note.
Let's have T-shirts that just says "Don't fuck spiders. Listen to Error 47."
Yeah.
Jesus.
I would actually. That's a great idea. I really, and if Roberta was here, she would just make it happen. And the next thing you know, you'd have a box of 100 of them showing up.
Oh yeah.
I've got a friend who does T-shirts, caps, stubby hold, or not stubby holders. What do you guys call them? Beer coolers or whatever they are. But yeah, I can make that happen. That's not a problem.
See, I'm totally wanting one of those now.
If you come to the gig, I will give you one. Don't fuck spiders, Error 47. In loving memory of Roberta.
Please.
Oh yeah.
I'm joined now by Ames Vaughan, Roberta's brother, to talk for a few minutes about the Kickstarter for the Error 47 concert, a show she helped to organize and one that's now become a tribute to her. And I really appreciate you meeting me because I hear you're at a big event, so I appreciate you taking the time. Roberta, she meant a lot to so many of us, and she was instrumental in getting the band into the stage in the very first place. Ames has been supporting the campaign behind the scenes, and I just wanted to take a moment to hear from their perspective. So, hey, Ames, how's it going?
Hi. Hey, it's going okay. It's a really nice day. It's just way too warm, so I'm just kind of nice to talk with you right now because of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sitting down and just in the corner overheating.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. It's a hot day. My recording room's pretty hot too. As soon as I turn off the fan and close all the doors, the temperature immediately gets to sweaty.
Ah, boy. Yeah. It was supposed to be like 100 and something today here.
Ooh.
I'm down in the Portland area right now. So. But it seems like it was only like 80 or 90. I don't know. It's still too much for me right now.
Well, before we talk about the campaign, I just want to know, when you first heard that this concert would be dedicated to Roberta, I mean, were you involved in that? What was your initial reaction to the whole idea?
I don't know how involved I would actually say I am, but there is a chance I might be playing with Era 47. My sister, before she went, got my trumpet repaired, and I've been playing it. And there's a song that I got sent that apparently needs a trumpet, so kind of put two and two together. And I had to take it back into the repair shop because they didn't fully fix it. No, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying about it, but there's a pretty good chance that I'll be there with them playing. I did back the Kickstarter, so I'm gonna be there and supporting you guys too. So
good. I appreciate that. Well, Roberta was actually the one who pushed to make this show happen in the first place.
Yeah, she told me about it, actually. She told me, she's like, I'm going to help them play at a concert, and we're going to make it happen this year. And I'm just like, holy shit, yes. And then, everything happened this year, so.
I know, but she believed so strongly in getting them onto the stage. I mean, it was a huge deal for her.
Yeah, it was. It's the hugest deal.
Now that the show's a tribute, the Kickstarter's really kind of the engine that's making it possible. So maybe if you want to just take a minute to just tell people why they should back it.
Well, Era 47 doesn't get to put on many shows all together in one place. And they do some pretty great stuff, all of them. And I really want to hear them live. I want to join them for when they play.
So, I mean, from what I recall, you've written a song, a special song with lyrics dedicated, first based on the Arana's Peace music, and then you've given it actual lyrics to. You had initially written it in hopes for Roberta, but you rewrote the lyrics to be sort of how things are, and it's made me cry like so many times.
I made it originally because I was just so deep in denial that that she was not able to come back at that point. It was like, I don't know, an act of desperation.
Right. But you've turned it into something else now, and something that can live on.
A memorial to her. As much as I can make one.
I think that's pretty important. You've seen the lineup, right? We've got friends from Sierra, we've got game composers, we've got the whole band. I mean, you know how Roberta would have felt seeing all of this come together.
We got Ken Allen, George Singer, Robert Holmes, we got all the gang. Mark Siebert and his wife. It was the only other thing that they did was for Sierra together was that the Willows song. That's the only thing they've done. So it's been that long since they've collaborated then with his wife, even Mark's wife.
Wow. So this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a freaking huge deal. And it wouldn't have happened without Roberta.
No, none of it is. And you've been put in a particular situation, sort of standing in for Roberta and still trying to make things happen while at the same time dealing with your own grief and your own situation. So I'm really glad that you're taking the time to get out there and just have a bit of fun and come back into yourself so that you can manage all of this. I'm really proud of you for that.
Thanks. I'm just trying to not get in the way of people at this point. I'm not really super actively participating, but it's like I was working with Heather on the FMV museum and digging out stuff for that and trying to figure out what to do with Berta's stuff and figuring out her laptop and all that, so her password and all of that kind of stuff, just trying to make sure that we help her finish her business here in general.
And do you have a moment just to speak about the FMV Museum as well? Because that's another part of the vision that's going to be at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
Yep, it will be there.
she had a storage unit, and it was just absolutely chock full of games. So it's been a bit of a production to kind of start going through things and finding articles for the museum.
Yeah, it was quite a lot, and I think we got all of the articles. I remember seeing some of them, but I don't remember like everything that they got.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's we're trying to figure out as much of it as possible, and I'm kind of overwhelmed just with life stuff in general right now. So I've had to really sort of, like I said, just stay out of the way more than actively direct anything.
Sometimes that's the best way, actually, too.
Yeah, it's you know, because I've known what Roberta wanted for a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of ways to figure out what she wanted, so that's largely just how I've been sort of helping figure out a lot of decision making that's been going on. So
that makes sense. Is there anything else that you just want to let people know about or say about the Kickstarter or Roberta just before I sign off and let you get your photos done?
The show is going to be great. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Not just as, you know, like a potential participant, but like as a fan even. And I guess that can segue into Berta too, because it's like that's how Berta was too, you know. It's not just, oh, she's a fan of, you know, King's Quest or Sierra. It's like she's a fan of Robert Holmes, of George Sanger, of Ken Allen. She's a fan of everyone as individuals, and I can't ever fill her shoes like that. Like that was her superpower, was being able to show up for people in the way that she did, like personally, not just. It was more than just business for her always.
It certainly was. Wow. Yeah, it was a whole life. It was everything. Thank you, Ames, for taking a moment to share your thoughts and the way that you're continuing to carry Roberta's spirit forward through this project. If you're listening and want to help make this tribute concert happen, head to the Kickstarter, search Error 47 Live in Portland. You'll find all of the details there, and every little bit helps, but also every big bit helps as well. That wraps up all of the parts of our special on Error 47 Live in Portland. This isn't just a concert. As I've said, it's a tribute to a friend. It's a moment for the community and a chance to honor the past while doing something brave and loud and real. If you haven't yet, go to the Kickstarter. I've told you a few times, I guess I'll say it again. Search Error 47 Live in Portland, or use the link in the show notes. Back it, share it, and be a part of something unforgettable in the adventure game community. And I'd like to say thank you to our newest Patreon member, Ozzy Astaroth. Thank you so much for joining in as a show supporter. I really appreciate it. I'd also like to say thank you to everybody in our True Believer tier. That would be Gareth, Mick, who you've met a few times on this episode, Brian Manown, Chapman Carruthers, Christopher Faust, Jeffrey Couch, Mark Fillion, Yanis, and Tim Ellis. Thank you so much for being true believers. Buy our adventure game. Review it. That's the big one that we're looking for, is current reviews. Check out its Wikipedia page, because it's out there on Wikipedia now. It's also on GOG, Steam, Itch, Fireflower, Mac App Store. The Phantom Fellows coming into spooky season. You can also get Phantom Fellows pins and magnets by Canvas Quest Tom. And there's also a player's companion guide. Must-see moments for the game that are available on the phantomfellows.com. Say hi to all of our friends in the Adventure Game Hotspot Network, linked underneath this episode, and as well, send us your words. Mail at cggpodcast.com. Find us on Twitter, CGG Podcast, and Phantom Fellows. Become a Patreon supporter, as we talked about, so that I can try my best to pronounce your name properly on the show. Make up a name, and then I'll try to pronounce that too. Do it wrong. Then it'll be funny, because it won't be your name. Join the group. We're a page. We're a group. We're also on Instagram and YouTube. Hey, and if you were wondering...
In the absence of dear old Paul... ... Oi, cunt. Don't do a fucking murder.
it's okay. I can cut out all the dead silences later. Don't even
Okay.
worry. They won't even be there in the final cut at all.
I think we're hitting that point where like, oh, any one of us could be talking. We don't want to interrupt.
Just cut it. Just cut in some crickets chirping and.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're all trying to be polite to each other and not
That's
talk too
adorable.
much, but then
Yep,
we all
too
did
polite,
it at the
too
same
polite.
time.
So
Wait until we get on stage. We'll only play one instrument at a time.
It'll be.
So,
it's going to be very exciting to do this with you guys. Yeah. And I just
yeah, man.
I've bought the Fat Man a couple of beers and a lunch last year, so I hope he forgives me for my god awful bass efforts. But we'll see what happens. So.